Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do. To protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes. And we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
You break the rules. Look out! And become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
That doesn't seem fair. Welcome to Earth 2 Comic Cast, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. It's your boy Crosby, back with another Marvel product review. It's going to be a spoiler review. If you were here when we did Moon Knight, we said we're going to do Doctor Strange, and today is this day of Strange. With me to do this is KB and Roy. Roy, welcome. KB, welcome.
Happy to be here.
What's going on, my brothers?
So
I'm gonna miss doing this every week.
Looking at this trailer, right? It's amazing how much of the movie is in this trailer, but you don't know that till you actually see the movie.
Yeah,
The emotional climax of the movie is in the trailer.
And
I forgot that.
This was a Super Bowl trailer, so this was in February.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes to show you how much faith they had in this movie. Like, just being honest, like the fact that I'm going to give you the climax.
Like on a pure financial level, like it's paid off for them. So
right, we're gonna show you a bunch of this movie before you actually see it, and you're not gonna know because things are out of sequence. You don't know, and so I like that though, and until you see the movie, you don't know how much of the trailer is in it, which is funny because I see people complaining now. It's like, but you've seen the movie, you didn't know where this scene came through or that happened. Roy, I'll start with you. When we did Moon Knight, the last episode of Moon Knight, you asked a question. Well, you asked me a question. Is this the movie that breaks the Marvel fandom?
Should we let everybody know it's a spoiler alert at this point?
Yeah, let's just be Mo mentioned it again, but we'll reinforce this could be full spoilers.
Like and subscribe.
Like, click subscribe, pause, then go on Fandango, put your mask on, go to the movie theater, watch the movie, then come back.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and share us. Let everybody know.
Yeah.
We're a network. We
get us on those
everything.
socials.
Yeah.
Right.
We're in the Twitter sphere, the Instagrams, all that.
Roy, again, is this the movie that breaks the Marvel fandom?
It's pretty close. I think sort of following the online discourse, I think it's definitely its breaks are less over the top insane compared to Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel dropped on the fandom like a bomb and like unleashed waves of misogyny upon the fandom that people didn't realize was under there and pushed it all to the surface. But eventually those wounds kind of like the people broke into camps. There's people making those like MCW YouTube videos that might show up on the algorithm on the side here. You shouldn't watch.
I need to
those.
watch those. I never
And then
even heard of this.
all those right-wing insane MCU videos, like that's Bond, they go off there. But I think on a level of like fandom, I think this is gonna be it. Like looking at the response both in the Marvel subreddits, on Twitter, in the spoiler communities that I follow, like people really are divisive about this movie. Some people like really love it, and some people really fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And every single person. Oh, pardon. Oops, sorry. PG-13. That's one. That's one.
We keep it real. We might go over here, boy.
F, right?
We might go over here.
All right.
No, that's our one. That's our one F bomb.
Like,
and now
and every single person that I've talked to about this movie, you know, from you gentlemen, as I understand, have a different opinion than me. But we haven't had a full discussion yet. My best friend, we had drinks with him the other night. He liked the movie, but had like a completely different take on what he liked and didn't like to anyone. And then another one of my best friends was like, I hated this movie. It gave me a whole different reason that I hadn't read on the internet before. So like,
Roy, I'm gonna ask you at some point, can we get those reasons?
Yeah, as we're talking about it, I can like give you like some of the things my friends, but it's just like I think this movie, for being one of the short, it feels like at the very least one of the shortest MCU movies.
2 hours and 3 minutes.
Really divisive.
Yeah.
And that's I think going to be its biggest legacy going forward, at least until we see what it pays off, you know, 3 years from now or whatever.
KB.
So Roy, before I say anything, no. For months, I've bragged and I talked about how I was so excited for this movie.
Oh, I know.
You and I know.
We did a show. Yes,
I
know.
You can go back and listen to the cast. Go back and hear my words of praise. This and the Batman were my two movies that I was so pumped for. Right. So right now I'm eating crow. Okay, and this hurts because I hate being wrong. Okay, I really hate being, and I low key think I need to watch it again to see how wrong I really am about this. But the thing that I think that hurt this movie the most was the runtime. And because I think originally what I heard was this movie was supposed to be 256 minutes or something like that.
240 is what I heard.
Yeah, 240. Yes. And they cut it down, and you could tell what parts were cut that made it hurt.
It needs to make $1 billion.
I didn't hear you.
It needs to make $1 billion. So yeah, we got to have people seeing this over and over again. It's 2 hours. It takes.
Dude, it's made $1 billion already.
It's already. It's on its. Oh, we'll see this upcoming Friday. If it doesn't drop off too much, it could easily go on to make $1 billion.
Oh wow!
I want to add one quick thing, KB, about this. That's really clear. It is clear though that it was not Disney that forced him to make this cut shorter. Like if you listen to interviews from him, Sam Raimi chose to cut a bunch of stuff with obviously working with Marvel, but it wasn't like Marvel's like, this movie's too long. And anyone who's seen like Civil War or Infinity War or Endgame, or even the Ant-Man movie sequel that we were talking about in the pre-show,
Batman, please.
Yeah, they're all long. Yeah. So like Marvel is cool. Like Eternals, which felt eternal while watching it, even though I did like it.
It was cruel. That movie was cruel and unusual.
All right. Black Widow, like
you're eating crow.
So
I have to watch it again to be sure.
I paid for Black Widow on Disney.
I paid for it too. I enjoyed it.
I think we all did.
And I want my money back. But go ahead.
Tell me, you were the one who
I like the movie, but I want my money back.
It wasn't worth 30. That's what he said.
And it wasn't worth $30.
No,
I like the movie. I was the only one when we did the cast that defended that movie.
And then when I
had me on there, I would have defended it.
I wish.
But see, here's the weird part about it. I hated Black Widow. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was as good as Mo made it out to be until I went back and watched it again. When I watched it for the second time, that's was like, oh, you know what? This is a real good movie. And that's why I was like, I might need to see this again because I went in with a crucial. So for those that don't know, Mo and I text throughout this whole movie. So
you get the live tweeting, the private live tweeting.
I got all of that. You should have been paying attention.
Yeah, but so while I'm doing that, and Mo and I could get real brutal at stuff, which I don't know why I have Mo doing my book review right now. But yeah, we could get real brutal at stuff. It is not friendly. And there were things about this thing I did love, like not even like. It was things about this I did love. What hurt the movie the most was not the
expected characters and Tom Cruise. We'll talk about that as
You know
Iron
what?
Man, Deadpool, and Spider Man.
I don't
I
think we.
think that's what we're talking when we get to the cameos.
Yeah. So the only thing I think hurt the movie was actually having that. One of the things I think that hurt it for me was that scene with the Professor X in it and stuff.
Let's not get there yet. Let's not get there yet.
No,
We'll get there.
I'm just saying for me that was one of the things that was like I wish I didn't see that in the trailer. Like I would have been so happy.
Oh, with
to have
Xavier's voice. Let's tell him.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have that. Like I don't know why. I would have been more happy with the goosebumps with him right there. You know what I mean? Instead of me getting that spoiled for me in the trailer. Like I don't know why it didn't. It was like when that first trailer came out, even when it was coming out in the chat, when we was putting stuff out in the chat, it was like I just wouldn't watch the trailers after that. It was like I don't know how much Marvel's going to spoil of this movie. I can't trust Marvel. So it's like I'm done. I just can't wait for the movie, and I was going to watch it regardless. They had me hooked, and I don't know. It was the runtime for me. And I don't know, it just seemed like something was missing that they were trying to pull from WandaVision to put on here, but they just didn't go all the way. That might be on the director's cut from Remy. I don't know, but it was definitely something. And then Remy really, I like Remy. So Mo and I kind of went back and forth on this too. But Remy did a whole praise to Remy in this movie. Like like a lot of his Ash and Evil Dead cuts he did in this, and a lot of his Spider-Man like the octopus fight on the side of the building. Like there's a lot of like praise to Remy inside of this film if you peep. And I was like, okay, Remy, just direct this movie. I love your work, but let's just do it. And then it's like it cuts to like this old 80s Vinish when the hand breaks through the brick. And like I write Mo like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Because I didn't expect that. And I was like, I don't think I want to see that in this film. But it wound up saving itself.
It definitely was the Marvel movie since Thor Ragnarok that had the clearest, like, this is by a specific, I guess Eternals 2 had it, but
Eternals 100%. Okay, so I'm actually opposite of you guys. I think
I had no problem with it.
But I'm thinking if Eternals was the movie to literally half the fandom, and if Eternals couldn't break the fandom, I think there's nothing in the they can come out with a string of Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness movies. And I don't think it breaks the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think Endgame is like the Kevlar vest for the MCU because everyone is always going to remember how they felt when they watched that movie and Captain America. So I think Marvel is kind of safe, maybe for like another 10 years.
10 years, wow!
I think
we have a Captain Marvel sequel coming out. I just want to point that out.
We do, and we
have 3.
But that's the thing. I think,
and we have this Black Panther movie that's going to be
okay.
That's going to be,
but
we don't even know what's going on with that.
let me tell you, everyone loves Ryan Coogler, right? You still have characters in that movie that you love.
Oh yeah,
boom. Captain Marvel. It's probably gonna feature a lot of what's her name from WandaVision. So things are going to save. Like there are gonna be characters in the movie that save the movie from being that movie.
That's going to be what breaks us.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think for the next 10 years, because let's look at what they have lined up for us, right? They've announced Fantastic Four, right? That was announced, I think.
And then we lost the director.
They've done Blade.
Well, this movie might give you a hint of who the replacement director could be.
Boom. They announced Blade, right?
And then they're changing some points about Blade from what I'm reading.
Listen, it's Blade.
They've been doing it in the comics.
It's Mahershala Ali, right? They brought back Charlie Cox.
Probably showing up in Echo next year.
From the pictures that we've seen from Love and Thunder, I just think they've set themselves up to not fail. I don't know if it's too big to fail, but they've set themselves up to not fail based on fan reception. I think hardcore MCU fans are going to love what they do, right? Regardless. There are people who will find an issue with the movie, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, but I still find there's still so much that I like about it. And that's what brings it.
It's not Morbius, so I mean, you got the fans like, hey, look, this could be Morbius, so we're happy.
I mean, there's definitely like gonna always be a baseline of quality, right? Like even the really bad early sequels, like Iron Man 2, Thor 2, like there was still like a baseline quality that like even Morbius like doesn't even hit Iron Man 2
Right.
level qualities, right? Or I'll be honest, how I feel about the Venom movie doesn't even hit like I'd rather watch Iron Man 2 than Venom, and I haven't watched the sequel, right? Like I think that the consistency, but I think that the problem, I think you're right, Mo. But as people who participate in the fandom and we're doing a whole podcast discussing, I have a feeling that the discourse around Marvel is going to get increasingly insufferable. And we have, I think Thor: Love and Thunder, I think is just going to be like a knockout of the park. Like I think it's going to be relatively uncontroversial.
Because that's what think about last year, right? For a
Crossing
second,
my fingers.
Eternals. No, but just think about last year. You had Eternals, Black Widow, and then Spider-Man came
and Shang-Chi.
And Shang-Chi, and whatever happened in the early years did not matter because Spider-Man happened. This year, we've gotten our first, right? Doctor Strange. What comes next? I think Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be that buffer till we get to what Black Panther 2. Hopefully,
we haven't even had a trailer for that.
Yeah, we probably won't have a trailer with that until they really kick in the most.
Yeah, and I think if Thor: Love and Thunder knocks it out the park, even though if Black Panther is right, there's not a chance. But if Black Panther is bad, I think Thor: Love and Thunder, the discourse from Thor: Love and Thunder, save the Marvel Cinematic movies for next year. Again, they always have that one or two movies in the year that kind of keep them going. We've had Moon Knight. There are people that think that's the best series yet. And so even though people feel how they feel about Marvel TV, Moon Knight is the conversation right now.
Yeah, don't go on the TV subreddit if you ever want to have a productive conversation.
I don't. I try to stay
Marvel TV shows.
I'll say this: I try to stay away from DC subreddits or DCEU subreddits and like certain Marvel subreddits. Reason I stay away from DCEU subreddits is because you're always going to find that fringe element with the save the
Snyder, Eider, whatever.
If I tell you how many mutes, my mute list or block list is super long.
It's bad, and allegedly there's some talk about doing another Snyder movie. Allegedly,
no, there isn't. So back to
which is not
Strange.
even. I don't even.
Don't put that in the universe.
All right. So I think what's the best way to approach this, Mo? Do we want to go plot point by plot point because we do this different? Or character by character?
I think we should do it like this, right? What didn't we like? Because in every movie or in every there's something you didn't like, and I want to start there because there are things. There's a lot of things that I love about this movie, and I feel like if we just go, because I don't know about you guys, but my list of not likes is not too long. My list of likes is super long. So exactly. So what didn't we like?
I didn't like how Mr. Fantastic looked on screen.
Interesting.
You
didn't like the suit?
No, the power.
Like the power.
Yeah.
I mean, does he ever actually use his powers?
Yeah, when he came down.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he slinky down. Yeah, man.
It just
he stretched over to her. So I guess we're going into the cameo territory then.
And then he tried to look big to her at first, and then that I didn't like because it's like I see what they're trying to do and the direction they're trying to go. So to do that with his character was the wrong thing to do. Like to have like, oh, I'm a big man looking down on you as a woman, and like his character is not the one to do that with because that's not who Reed Richards is. So I didn't like that part.
I agree with you, KB. I think that scene is like really awkward.
Yeah,
and you can definitely tell they reshot it. Yes. Like that. I think that the Illuminati sequence, which I overall really liked. I loved. We'll talk about that. But anyway, with where this movie was reshot, you can see that. Like Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic were not in the same room as Captain Marvel and Captain Carter. Like they just simply were not. No amount of movie magic can convince anyone that they were there, and that makes that whole scene just really awkward. Like should be like a big emotional moment of like Wanda, like fear of Wanda, and like her punking these characters, which I did once she actually started fighting Captain Marvel and Captain Carter. I thought was a pretty cool action scene. But like her, and I thought how they killed Black Bolt was cool, but just like the setup for that was just like really like fell really dead, which compared to the other Illuminati scenes, which I thought were really strong, this one, which is supposed to be like the centerpiece of the tension, just all the tension fades away.
What was up with Black Bolt's mask? Like it was something awkward. Like he looked like what's the dude name from the John Cena show?
Vigilante?
Jujitsu man.
Vigilante?
No, Jujitsu guy.
Oh,
Kung Fu
Peacemaker.
Master. No, Kung Fu Master.
Oh no,
Judo.
No, no,
Judo
no.
master.
Yeah,
Judo
Judo
Master.
Master. If you look at Black Bolt's mask and look at it, it was like cheesy like that, but it was like worse. Like even his mouth didn't look right in it. It was worse than Henry Caviezel's mustache CGI'd off.
I've got to throw a
It
little
was
DC
bad.
in
Like
here, man.
the mask was really bad. Like it was like I wish Deadpool was in this just so that he could make fun of how bad that looked.
Right. Well, if we're
Bad.
talking about this scene, I didn't like any of it. I'm sorry.
You didn't like any of the Illuminati
Any-
stuff?
Yeah, he was
any of
writing
it.
me during the movie, telling
I
me.
told him,
I
and
was
I
ridiculous.
tried not to do that because he loved all of it. I'll tell you one thing. I think
Wow.
it was yesterday. I tried not to tell you because I didn't want to ruin. I didn't, I want you to say how you feel about it before I tell you how I feel about it. So I tried not to respond to you at that moment. I didn't like. I love Patrick Stewart.
He looks so old.
I watched
He
the
did.
card. He did not look good in this.
I want to get him floor arrangements now.
Oh, whoa,
and then-
KB, whoa.
We are talking about the multiverse. This is a dark movie, so why not? Listen,
Woo. I mean,
I'll
he
say
did look
this.
frail in
He
that
did,
movie.
and I'll
He
say
looked
this:
frail.
if you watch Picard, you see.
I wanted to pop
too.
the claws on him as a mercy kill.
I
Like,
didn't like.
Damn, KB.
Okay, I'm one of the ones that I also didn't like the chair.
You didn't
I
like
like
the
the
chair?
chair.
I didn't like the chair, and I'll tell you
2
why
to
I
1
didn't
here,
like
my
it.
friend. We like.
I'll tell you why I didn't like the chair because again, Patrick Stewart looks old. He looked like he didn't look like okay. So if you look at the comics, right, or the show, he feels like he's sitting up in the chair. Patrick Stewart looked like he was sunken into the chair. It didn't look. It didn't
He looked
fit.
like it looked like he was geriatric, like he was
You
headed to a
mean
nursing
he looked
home.
like he was a what? Is he 80 now? Year-old
Yes.
man? So he looked like an
I
80-year-old
know,
man in a
but
wheelchair.
That's not
Oh,
Professor
interesting.
Xavier. That
But
I'm
you see
sorry,
what they
I
did with
just-
his eyebrows? They did get the eyebrows accurate. Like
I
Did
don't
you see
know.
the cool like they did the mind
I
waves?
He didn't like that. I loved
any
What,
of
you
that.
didn't like that? Oh my
I
god.
didn't like that whole cameo scene because
It's
I
funny
thought,
how you pointed out before I could say it, Roy.
81,
It-
by the way.
It,
is how old he is.
it's funny how you pointed the wave thing out, and I was like, as soon as I wrote
because you did, you texted me, and I was like, I hated
I
it.
marked out, and he was like, "No, that's not cool."
I was like, I hated it. No, I'm watching it, and everyone is in the screening was like, oh my god. When John Krasinski came down, I was like, okay, next, because I'm like, okay,
Wow.
no, like who's next? Like,
I
I love
love
Anson Mount. He's my favorite cowboy, but
it.
I also didn't ever like him as Black Bolt. So seeing him again was like, okay. I didn't like that scene, and the fight happened. I was like, let's
Oh, you know
actually
there are
get.
people that's angry at Feige over bringing him back just to kill him.
But he's
I
not
don't care.
dead.
No,
Like
but
He's
there are people that-
838 dead. He's not 616 dead.
I know,
Come
but
on.
there are
Now.
people that's really mad at Feige because they was like Feige has a hard on for killing off anything related to the Inhumans TV show.
And that's
It's
another
like
reason
a
I
whole
didn't
subreddit.
like it. That's why I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I'm like, okay. Immediately I saw that scene. I mine hit something Roy said because we were talking about the JSA in Black Adam, and I was like, there. As soon as I saw all, I'm like, yep, I know why you're here.
to get punked.
So, nothing surprised me. Like none of that.
Yeah,
I think
none
I
of
think
that
the-
surprised
I
me.
think
But,
one of the
like,
things
was it?
that
I don't
did-
think it was supposed to surprise you, right? Like,
I don't know.
like,
I guess. I think one
guess-
of the things that did surprise me, however, was Reed Richards saying to Wanda, "This guy can kill you with a word from his mouth."
What mouth?
Really, Reed?
yeah,
You
that
are
was
telling
dumb.
her.
But
You
again,
are-
that was because that felt like reshoots. It was like we need to kill Black Bolt, but we can't have him interact with any of the other characters. So how is this going to happen? Like they decided late to add Reed and Black Bolt.
How do you tell?
It didn't. It didn't
especially
feel
you
right.
talk to Steven.
It didn't feel
Steven
right.
had been telling you, oh, she's crazy. She's this. She's gonna kill everyone here. And the first thing you do when you see her is tell her, oh, this guy right here, he can kill you with a word from his mouth.
You're gonna give up a cheat code, like basically, like, hey, here's a guy who could really take on the Hawk and almost win when he's world beater Hawk. But you know what? Let's do this for the sake of a movie.
And then the astral plane, please, like Patrick Stewart is too old to be doing these things. Like You see, another reason why I hate it is because James McAvoy is still available. What is he doing?
That's not as much fan service. Like that
That's
whole
exactly what it
sequence
was.
was
Okay,
all
so
fan
say
service.
thank you very much,
Like-
and that's why I hated it.
But
That's
it was like
exactly
I thought
why
it was,
hated it.
but I liked it as fan service that like was they were just dead bodies. Like they were just designed to be killed.
Right.
Like I kind of enjoyed that. I was like, it's a multiversal like story, right?
Right.
So you
right,
have
right.
to have him go to a universe, and you want to have different explanations for
Yeah,
like
you wanna have
bad
people
shit
from
Doctor
the
Strange
thing.
did.
Right.
Right. And so like why not kill off these extra people? Like it's just like, and it was like a cool, like I just like, for me, I never thought that there were stakes like with these characters like at all, because they were just there to be the
Cannon
punks, like the cannon fodder, just like
JSA.
like the JSA, like, but just like random like psychos. They're just a cool fan service thing to show how badass Wanda is, and to create all this like tension that, oh my god, she killed Black Bolt, oh my god, she could kill Master Fantastic, like to ratchet up that tension.
I also think
that
one
she's
other
coming
thing.
for Strange.
I agree with you, but I'll also say this: we had Kamatage. We literally came from Kamatage, so
it was for another reason.
We didn't need to see her be more badass because
she
was for another
punked the
reason.
light wizards. Who cares about the light wizards?
Listen, it was for another reason. Hear me out. It was for one other reason. What's up, Ant? It was for
I'm sorry.
one
Yeah,
other reason.
what's up, Ant?
Kevin heard everybody, hey, look, cast John Krasinski for this. He heard, oh, we want Patrick Stewart, or we're going to riot as Professor X in the MCU. He heard all these things, right? So what better way to do fan service, say, shut up, I have my own plan, we're going to go my other direction, then we're going to put them in a movie, and then I'm going to kill them off, so that way you've had your moment, now shut up and see where we're going to go.
So according to you, we're recasting everyone from that scene, right?
I mean, well, definitely Xavier.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
So that's a great vote.
You don't think
do you think John
not going to get
is going to be Mr. Fantastic in the movie? Do you think
I hope not.
Is that the guy from The Office?
Yeah, the guy from The Office. Yeah.
I mean, I liked his physical representation of Mr. Fantastic. I never watched The Office, so I don't know anything else about him.
Did you see what's his show on Amazon?
Tom Clancy one. Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan.
Also,
Quiet Place. I like him. Yeah,
there you go. There you go. I figured.
I'm for him. This is my thought about that scene, right? For a lot of people, main audience doesn't know anything about Black Bolt, right? They don't know anything about Black Bolt, and so it totally misrepresented his power set, right? Black Bolt doesn't need to. I don't have a mouth. I just punch a hole through your face. like I don't.
He's super
powerful. And his powers
could fight the
really
Hulk.
work like that. Right. His powers don't work like that. Where his scream would. Also, the scream should come out the front of your mouth. Like it wouldn't. If it couldn't get through your teeth, it wouldn't go through the top of your skull. Like it just doesn't work that way. Somebody argued with me that it's her using her probability of powers, but
all she did was seal his mouth, man.
Yeah,
like, I don't like that shit.
This is my thing. I've also had arguments with people trying to defend Wanda for her decisions, and
we'll get there. We'll get there. We're trying to
But this is my thing. Her just owning Patrick Stewart. I mean, I say Patrick Stewart because he don't know how to play characters anymore. But Xavier in his in the psychic realm, that should have been a fight. Each of these people should have been like a tiered fight. I don't care if she wins,
except
right,
Captain
through some
Carter.
kind of ways. Except for, I guess, for some reason, Captain Marvel
except Captain Carter, please.
But
I can do this all day.
If I hear that one more time,
it's not even your line. It's not even your line. Stop it.
I will lose my mind if I hear that one more time.
We know they have power dampening technology because they put on Strange. This could have been a make each of the Illuminati. First of all, Captain Carter don't belong on the Illuminati. Like she don't even. Captain America don't belong in the Illuminati. Matter of fact, but
well, it's in the comic how they got rid of him from it.
Oh, okay. So
there's a comic where Captain America is part of it, and then like they wipe his mind and put him out because he didn't fit in when they were doing the inclusions, and he wasn't in agreement with it.
I also feel like this is a waste of the idea of the Illuminati. Like you could have made them the Defenders, you could have made them anything else. You didn't. The Illuminati itself is a whole series of things you could do with it, right? I feel like this is a waste of that. Not to say they can't use it again, but I want to say, my main thing is you introduce the characters that just so them get killed really quickly, and I feel like it was disrespectful to those characters, and I hate it. Somebody told me that's just a trope they do. I also hate it in comics. It never really works to me to have a new character come in or a character come in and just whip these powerful characters, and that doesn't make them popular. Wanda was already popular. These are the new characters. You want to grow. You want to grow. You want to make the Inhumans and the Fantastic Four and the X-Men like a presence. Show them a little bit more than getting taken out in a couple seconds. Except for Captain Carter.
Feige doesn't care about Inhumans. I really can't.
No, it's not. I don't think it's that. I think personally, like Ant said, show them. I think it's okay. This is them. Expect more. Boom. It's not. I don't think it's for. It's again. It's fan service one, and then it's this is these guys. X-Men does exist. Fantastic Four does exist. Well, even though it's the multiverse, if you turn it around, and at some point 616 is going to get these guys. Mm-hmm. That's all that was.
Also,
I agree with
this
Mo
isn't
here.
the 616. Someone tried to argue with me that no, this is not the 616.
No, it's the 1999.
I know,
yeah.
I agree with the Ant. But I think that is a semantic argument. I think here because I think actually there's a big mistake from going straight from No Way Home to this movie, because this movie has a very different attitude towards the characters appearing who are multiversal characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andrew and Toby are the whole fucking point of watching that movie. The whole emotional payoff is the brothership between them and you connecting to these characters and the relationship you had with them from the previous movies. And particularly for Andrew, the most emotional moment in that movie involves Andrew Garfield, who isn't even a main character or a character that's currently updated, right? The multiversal characters in this movie, except for maybe Christine, do not matter at all. They don't matter a gosh darn. They are entirely in service of the plot. And that's what I think people got invested in. And I think No Way Home did a bad job of setting this movie up and set that specific sequence up for failure. Because if you just treat these as so many multiversal comic stories where, an exile story where you run into a cool version of Mr. Fantastic who's evil, and he gets killed, right? That doesn't mean shit, right? That he died in that. That's the level. This is an exile story involving Doctor Strange.
I agree with you that there's plenty of stories where they go in and the Punisher somehow killed everybody in the Marvel Universe. I understand that's happened. My thing is that we are probably never getting a human movie and because they've messed that up.
They even changed Miss
Marvel. Might have messed that up.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel's not even Inhuman anymore in the upcoming series.
Oh, really?
No.
No. She does in the beginning.
It's
telekinetic. Yeah.
Okay. But to me, this is probably the only representation of the character we're going to get in film for a while. So it just seemed like it let down what that character could be, because only general zeitgeist of the public going to know is, Black Bolt got easily killed. Also, you might have touched on this already. Having a very loose magic system where you can just anything that comes in your head is very problematic going forward. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange and Wanda can no longer interact with the rest of the imps. On a major, an Avenger level threat or a Spider-Man level threat, they can no longer interact with these characters in a believable way, because you pretty much put no limits on what they can do. I can turn water into wine. Just with the ability to turn water into wine, I could kill most other characters.
That was a funny joke.
I love that moment. I'm sorry.
I love that joke.
I'm not saying you can't love the moment. I'm saying without having a rule system for your magic system, it can do anything. Now and I'm fine with that.
But see, they kind of hinted at that in Infinity War. I don't know if you peeped it, but when Doctor Strange basically froze everything around when the alien came there, and Tony peeks back and realizes, oh crap, you're a whole different power level. And it's that smirk, yo, I'm different. They kind of hinted at that,
and Doctor Strange and Wanda both hold their own with Thanos, for extended periods of time.
Wanda almost killed him until he rained hell.
And I have said for years that Wanda should have been what Captain Marvel was. Captain Marvel wasn't needed. Wanda was, but also the thing that I think this is also my other thing is
they needed Wanda for that ending now, that hero ending.
This is my thing. Marvel for a long time was very interesting and unique from DC. For one, its villains have pathos. There was a reason that you go oh yeah, right now, if we all turned to mutants and Magneto showed up and Xavier showed up, would we trust humanity not to wipe us out?
I'm going with Magneto every day.
Go. The only reason I have to go to
I'm a
Magneto is like,
Magneto
man, your track
apologist.
record's
So
kind of shiny, kind of messed up, Magneto. That's the only reason I have to go with him. But right now, he's like Xavier's like, we gotta trust humans to love us. And really, raise your hand if you trust the humans to love us?
like, you mean right now, today, in
Today.
this world today, right now?
In this world today.
Oh no! Oh
No.
no!
No, so you understand him. If a scientist gets screwed over, you understand. So I love the balls of making Wanda a villain for a movie, because she was a villain in Wanda series too.
WandaVision,
Even though they keep trying to give her a pass in every movie. I mean, every time they bring it up. But the other thing is, our heroes weren't perfect, right? Even people that were extremely powerful had some kind of psychological or physical Achilles heel that made it interesting. If you just make all your characters perfect, like we have a perfect Captain Marvel, we have a perfect, like, the all-powerful Scarlet Witch, what are they really going to deal with that makes them interesting?
That's a good point, and that's a
But
great point.
one
So now
second.
okay.
I just want to ask a follow-up question. Like, I'm gonna just put the Captain Marvel discussion like on a shelf, and we're just not gonna talk about that. But Scarlet Witch, you don't think he has like a flaws in this movie? Like, I think like one of the
That's
things that this movie
actually where we
hammers
were
home,
going next.
is that she's
I figured we're gonna talk
yeah,
so let's
is
talk about
very
let's talk about
flawed.
Wanda. Let's talk about Wanda, because I think what they did with her was pretty interesting. You know, for a minute,
Mhm.
you know, like they tried to pay off, or they tried to. This is also something I didn't like in the movie, but I you know, I could understand what they were doing. They tried to pay off WandaVision in this movie. Question to you guys. In every version of the multiverse, right, that Wanda finds her kids or sees her kids, there's no Vision. So
Yeah, I think that.
are we assuming that all those Wandas have been through like their version of did they go through WandaVision's type of thing? Because again, it's supposed to, you know, you dream walk, or you dream, you know, story this movie set up, which
Just let it go.
where do okay, there's no Vision, so they've gone through, I think, their Infinity War or Endgame moments. Do those kids exist as actual beings, or is this a version of the WandaVision thing that we're seeing? Before we go into the before we talk about Wanda, I just want to know.
So that's the other thing that gets me. It's something with writers nowadays. I think they understand the concept of multiverse. The fact that you have infinite possibilities depending on choices and infinite events is that there's some reality where Wanda's dead and there's a Vision raising kids. There's some version where Wanda and real Vision is raising those kids. There's some version where they don't have the kids.
There's some version where it's just Ultron.
Where it's just Ultron. Like, so I did, like, when people keep saying, "Oh, in all the multiverse, this is the only." No, that's not how multiverse works. That's not how it works. They did that a lot. Picard. They was like, in no reality do the Borg ever. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. So I don't know. It can't be that there's no other version.
Or did they only show us the ones that she chose to see with the kids and her? Right. Let's
We only
just
saw like 5 different
are we gonna get
realities. So I mean, there's definitely an infinite number.
I mean, I think they purposefully like left the father of Wanda's kids vague. Like in this, like it could be Vision, it could be Wonder Man. Maybe Wonder Man is her boyfriend in that universe. Like it could be Steve. Like it doesn't like I think
Clint.
Like I think
could be Thanos. Just saying,
it could be Thanos. It could be literally
could be
anyone.
Ultron.
Could be Ultron. It could be, you know, she had the kids on her own, right? Like without just in a, you know, natural way of having a kid on your own. Yeah, like whatever. Like I think actually where I think one of the problems that sometimes I think we were encountering, particularly in the post YouTube film criticism thing, is that everything needs to be at least slightly explained. And I think the movie doesn't care who Wanda's partner is, right? This isn't WandaVision, which is all about Wanda's relationship with Vision, right? And her feelings towards him. That's already been resolved. You care about that, like you can go watch WandaVision and that will tell you all you know about Wanda's feelings about Vision. Like this is about Wanda, her feelings about motherhood and what the corruption of the Darkhold drives her to do because of those feelings. And then there's all this Stephen Strange stuff. If they get bogged down on Vision also being there and that Wanda killing Vision, it just like adds all of this extra stuff that gets in the way of the story that they want to tell about Wanda. And they also have to tell an America story, a Steven story, and a Wong story. And Wong is really not well treated in this movie. I think that's the part I didn't like, is that Wong's not
tell an America story.
I'm about to say you feel like White Vision showing up in this would have taken away from the movie.
Yes, but I feel like them talking about him or bringing him up also would have created more questions about him that this didn't need, because this already created too many questions.
Like, I'm excited for more Vision, like White Vision stories. I hope that he shows up in a Disney Plus show or a future movie. Like, I'm excited to see what they go with the character.
Pop up in Armor Wars. I'm willing to bet on that.
But I agree with KB that like we don't need Vision. Like this movie, like already had a lot of things to deal with, and they chose a 2-hour runtime. Like adding more stuff about Vision is not really like good use. I caught myself. It's not like a really good use of the space in this movie. Right, we already have talked about like what the Illuminati kicks open all of these fanboy questions. Like, do we need to invest more storytelling points? I guess and
pay another actor.
Yeah, pay another actor. Right, or pay two actors. Right, Paul Bettany to record his lines, and like I don't know, Sean Gunn to stand in or whatever they're gonna do.
They have unlimited money.
No, each movie has a budget, and this was.
They have unlimited.
They already paid Patrick Stewart his day rate, so
it could have taken away. It could have taken away from the movie. And maybe that's because in this movie I see this as a Wanda movie more than I see it as a Doctor Strange movie.
That was another problem.
And to me, it kind of goes Wanda and then America and Doctor Strange are kind of like this almost. like just in. I mean, am I wrong? I mean.
No, you're not. Well, to me, you're not.
Wanda,
to me, you're not.
Yeah,
and it's crazy that all of this is being said because Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. Okay. We're talking Wanda. We're talking Wanda. Let me not.
No. Let's talk Wong real quick. Here's the thing about Wong, and I know you read Doctor Strange comics. Roy, you read Doctor Strange comics. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mo, you read Doctor Strange comics. How many interesting Wong stories are in Doctor Strange?
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Well, but also like MCU Wong is not comics, and for the better, in my opinion.
I'm just saying.
Also, MCU Wong ain't for us. He's for China. so
not anymore because this movie ain't coming out in China. So
because of the
pandemic,
romance and because of pandemic.
No, also because they wouldn't cut
the child, the two moms.
I want to give full credit to this movie for doing that.
No, China and a couple other.
That's the character's original origin.
Look.
Egypt was like that too.
China. I don't give no points until I get a big black face on a Vision.
Oh yeah, that poster was all over Times Square and was never. His character never made it to China. Yeah.
So Finn in the American Star Wars posters was like normal size to everybody else.
Yeah. I forgot.
And then over in China, they either erased him or he was back
in the far back. Yeah.
Right,
so no,
he is black ass. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fair.
But yes, you know, they made the H1 a white Celtic woman because they wouldn't talk about the pet for Japan. For China, but I'll give them some props for standing up for the LGBTQ community.
Okay, so
one time.
One.
Wait,
was the first trend?
Isn't Disney supporting the "Don't Say Gay" bill?
No, that's a whole thing. But they were neutral on it, and then they said they didn't like it, and then now they're fighting with the Florida Republicans about it.
Okay,
they want to protect the copyright trade and the influence they got in Florida. That's what they want to protect.
So what am I missing? I don't know nothing about this. What is happening?
We'll talk about this after the cast. So back to Wanda, right? The story they told with her, you know, the thing about I hated it because again, I think there's so much you can do with that character, and there's so many ways you can tell the story, but to make that her story throughout the movie, like her motivation throughout the movie to be a villain was that, and then the resolution I didn't care for.
I'm gonna disagree with you on there. The one thing I like about there's only two things I like about the original Doctor Strange movie. And one of those are the fact that it had a very Doctor Who like ending where it wasn't battling the bad guy, it was outthinking the bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, so in the first movie, it was, I've come to talk, negotiate, or bargain. Thanks.
You don't even remember that.
And
you didn't watch that movie over again.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a true fan. I've been pretending this whole time.
You watched it one time.
but I like that it wasn't a beat the bad guy up.
Because you couldn't.
Doctor Strange should be facing. This is the thing. Doctor Strange should be facing horrors and monstrosities and protecting our realm that the X-Men and the Avengers can't even fathom. Like, I liked in comics where Doctor Strange, like, two psychic beings be sitting in the astral plane or the Shadow King and Xavier be fighting, and Doctor Strange just flies by in the background. They don't pay him no mind. That's just Doctor Strange is saving us all, doing his own thing. He's dealing with stuff that having godlike power is not enough. And I do love that about the Doctor Strange character. So the fact that it was letting Wanda defeat herself. I know I've seen some plans where they wanted Doctor Strange to be the hero and beat her in a magic fight, but doesn't really stay true to who Doctor Strange.
No, I get that, but I just
isn't true to his arc in the movie, because this is a Doctor Strange movie, and where I would disagree with Mo is he has an arc in this.
But I didn't say he didn't have an arc.
But here's the thing: this is something that was said in the
movie.
beginning. But see, him doing things the way how he did actually goes back to what was said in the beginning of the movie. Is you always have to be the man with the scapula. And in this, he was like, no, I'm not going to be the person with the scapula. You take it.
Also, points to American Chavez. I thought I was going to hate this character in the movie because how they usually write, like, the new kid coming in, and then it was like, I enjoyed her. Like, I don't think she took away from the movie. I think she wasn't annoying. She wasn't better at everything than everybody else for no real reason. Like, I felt like she had some growth and she was powerful, but she's still like a glass cannon. So I like.
Yeah, I really liked her too.
Yeah, I could see her more stuff. I don't need her being a musician. Not musician. I don't need her being a sorcerer. But
thank you, because
I don't think they're trying to make her a sorcerer. I think they're trying to make her defend herself, because if she's somebody who can go to the multiverse, no, they're trying to get her to defend herself, because if she doesn't know how to control her power and she's trying to find her mom's. B, there are going to be other people that's going to come after her for her ability to go through multiverses. She's still a kid that doesn't really know how to defend herself.
I mean, also, it doesn't mean anything to be a sorcerer in the MCU. Like, you just have light powers and, like, stuff happens. I don't know. Like,
water to wine.
Yeah, it's like,
it doesn't mean no. Actually, Roy, it doesn't mean anything to be Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU. It doesn't mean anything to be that. But I'm sorry. Never mind. Let me not do it.
It does, because like one of my favorite moments in that movie is when Strange acknowledges that Wong like is the Sorcerer Supreme.
That's what it means to be Sorcerer Supreme.
I mean, hey, you got the
acknowledge me.
Hey,
acknowledge me.
What authority?
He got ragdolled. Okay.
Look, if I'm a rank and file soldier and I got to go with the Wong squad or the Doctor Strange squad, I'm going with Doctor Strange.
He got ragdolled in this movie a lot. I thought he died at one point because he's
back. He's going to be in a bunch more movies than Benedict Cumberbatch, because Benedict Wong's day rate is so much lower than Benedict Cumberbatch's.
I wrote Mo.
Phase Mo
as soon as it happened. I was like, oh my god, they killed him. And then when he was still alive, I was like,
kill him. Hanging into the.
So punk ass. Oh, I'm sorry. Punk Wong gave up the secrets to kill the whole multiverse for 3 people or 3 or 4 people. Look, Doctor Strange was like, I don't know, tell you what. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with you, Ant. I think that was the biggest scripting problem I had in that movie. Like, she could have just mind controlled him. Like, why didn't she just do that? She was mind controlling people earlier in the movie. Like,
you beat Charles Xavier in mental combat in the movie. You tell me Wong is a problem?
I mean, he is Sorcerer Supreme.
The sidekick.
That felt a little Matrixy, like the moment in the Matrix where Agent Smith had a Morpheus in the room.
Wong gave up them goods quick. Wong a snitch. He a rat. He would save himself. Like, I can't. He tried to talk tough at the end of the movie. Nah, Wong, you just destroyed the whole multiverse for 4 people. I'm sorry. I might have passed this point, but I wanted to bring this up to y'all. Did y'all notice the point where Strange looking at the statue and it's like, died defeating Thanos, and it was just looking at his face, and I was like, oh crap, are they going to say he saw a reality where he had to die instead of Tony, and he just chose Tony? I was like, that's a really good like guilt trip. Did anybody else like feel that's what they were going for a second? Or was it
Nah,
just me?
I missed that. I
I
definitely
missed
missed
that, but I now want to see that reality.
That's a good.
But strange, like, so this is where the MCU's like sense of the multiverse versus time is different, right? Because Loki is not 100% the same as time, because Doctor Strange didn't say he went through a million realities to see what happened. He went through a million permutations of the specific situation that these heroes were in, right? Because that universe's encounter with Thanos, like, there's no Charles Xavier, there's no Black Bolt, there's like none of these other things that like were necessary for that version that they defeated Thanos in, right? It had to be the specific mix of Star-Lord. Who was there? I don't know. Who did Doctor Strange?
Different timelines are different multiverses,
right? But that's not the way. I mean, but that's not the way Marvel's treating it, though, right? Like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
They're
Like,
still trying to figure it out, because you have universes, and then you have universes, and then you have dimensions,
timelines and dimensions and
they're
realms
still trying to
and
they're still trying to figure it out.
and hellscapes.
yeah, I mean, but who cares? Like, at the end of the day, to me, who cares, right? Like,
right. But I'm not
be a
saying he
logical
saw.
version of it, but
I'm not even saying he saw different.
No, I understand what Ant is saying. Ant is saying that did he go through universes and he saw that one universe? It was like, yeah, I'm not gonna die. Tony, you're the one, man. It's you. I think that's where you're going with that, right?
I'm so important.
I would choose Tony too. To be honest, I would definitely choose Tony.
We couldn't blame him, but that throws a different spin on. Oh yeah, there's one reality where we win,
and that's probably why he still
Tony
feels the way he
that
feels.
Doctor Strange couldn't do. Like, did
Doctor
Tony do
Strange?
anything? No, I'm saying like in Endgame, did Tony do anything that Doctor Strange couldn't do? We saw him rock with Thanos before.
I mean, what's the name can literally not use his fist and punch anybody.
Oh well, but he can create fists.
Yeah, I don't know.
He did fight.
I mean, Doctor Strange couldn't create the time travel device that Tony created, right?
No, I'm saying in that
terms
particular
of fighting
in battle, battle. I don't know. It didn't happen. I just saw him look at the statue, and I thought, "Oh crap! Was there a reality where he?"
It wouldn't have been able to go back in time. Doctor Strange doesn't have that capability to create time travel.
Once he gives up the time stone, yeah.
I think I might not be explaining this right.
No. They're missing what you're saying. What Anthony's saying is he looked at it as Doctor Strange in that moment in Infinity War went through realities, right, or universes rather. And he's like, there's one, no, and then he sees that one, or he sees every universe where he dies, and then he chose to make it Tony instead. And so, fast forward to Endgame, he's like, okay, Tony, go ahead. And then I think you're asking, was there anything?
It's a cool
moment. Game, whatever happened, he killed Thanos on Titan. So whatever happened on Titan in that sequence must have already had passed, or it didn't happen the same way.
All right, I think
he didn't kill Thanos in Endgame.
I think I see where we're talking past each other here. So what you're saying, Ant, is that Doctor Strange, in the context of Infinity War, could have seen a universe where he could have beat Thanos, right? And that statue reminded him that he may have overlooked the ability that he could have sacrificed himself rather than Tony sacrificed himself in the context of Infinity War's variant of the fighting Thanos.
Right. And then he might have been
that
like,
makes sense.
And did he choose Tony over himself? I mean, did he choose himself over
Tony? I low-key do believe that.
Because like he just had this look and he was like, died saving Thanos? And I was like, oh crap. Because again, infinite realities means anything could happen. In some reality, you open up your refrigerator and there's a monkey there with a gun. It seems implausible, but that's what happens in that time.
Reference Family Guy, but
I think there's the longer version of this movie has a theme of Doctor Strange more dealing with the decision he made in Endgame, because it like keeps coming up in this movie.
They wanted to do it so much. It's like,
did you feel like there were two movies here?
It was at least like 3 or 4 movies in this movie.
Yeah, like
I think that's where the runtime becomes a problem, because there's in my opinion, is telling a multiversal story. I don't know if 2 hours cuts it. Like, you need at least maybe 30 or 40 more minutes to add a couple things, maybe not another universe or maybe a little more story. I just feel like the runtime kind of really
It
hurts
needed
this
more
movie.
story.
If I go to an ice cream party and you promise me flavors of madness, like so multiple flavors, a plethora of flavors, and I get there and there's 5, I'm smacking your mama. So
Yeah.
this is,
Was there really 5 universes in this movie?
It was only 5.
3. It was 3. Ours,
there was
616,
not
838.
counting when they were just falling through and we didn't get any.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
they
counting
don't
that. It was
count.
we really
So
got
it's
into 838.
Every Word in Black with the Illuminati universe, right? There was the
Mhm.
dead, the demon Doctor Strange universe. There was.
That's
There's
it.
2 more.
Are we talking about ones he went to or
Yeah,
ones we
no,
saw?
once the movie happened in. Like
Oh,
No,
the movie.
because there was 2 where Wanda was
No.
with her family.
No, it was 1.
That was just
838.
1. I could swear it was 2 of them.
838 and then the Madness universe. It was 2 universes, and then you add 616. It was 3 universes in this movie for a movie titled
it?
Multiverse. Yes.
So it was
Hold on.
definitely like a okay
Hold
version.
on. So there's Evil Strange's universe.
Right.
There's the Illuminati universe. There's
Right.
the main MCU universe.
Right.
There's whatever universe Defender Strange or whatever you want to call him. Zombies. The guy who becomes zombie.
Okay, but that wasn't a universe though. That was
I guess
that was
that was the plane. That was the plane. No, I'm not calling that a universe.
Okay. That's can we say 0.5? So can we say 3.5 universes?
There we go.
Because like that's a character from a different universe.
It is a
who does
character
play
from another-
something like a role in the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll
Like,
give you that.
I low-key feel like that was a universe because that was the universe.
No, because once we came from
because that Mortal was in there, and see how was it that Mortal
no,
could
but
exist?
that's the same 838 universe. Like I think you're missing the point. When he opened the door with the watch, right, and he came into that plane, where he put the a Book of Ashanti in. I think. Oh, I could be wrong. That every universe has that plane. Then
yes, it does. They say that specifically. They say it
Okay,
exists. It's like the
so
nether.
we do have 4. So go
It's
ahead.
like a nexus.
Count it.
It's like
4
a nexus
universes.
point.
Four universes.
But
4 universes.
Did Wong get
But we-
shafted in this movie just for
We
the
really
sake of telling the
experienced,
story?
but in my
He did,
opinion,
yes.
we really experienced 2 universes for a movie titled
Wong.
Multiverse of Madness.
Mortal.
The only I think the reason the movie shows a multiverse is them falling through different universes, but we really only experienced 2, and
But
one
did
of
Mortal
them,
get-
and one of them was for like 5 minutes, and we only got to Bleecker Street.
Though I will give another point because it gave us a Bruce Campbell scene to beat himself up, and for
That
that I
was
say
very
bravo.
I love that. I love that.
I mean,
I think it would have
yeah.
been a little more perfect if he said,
If he cut off his hand, oh sorry.
yes.
Yeah. We just saw
But no,
like,
but it's a PG-13 movie. That's not happening.
we saw Mr. Fantastic's head explode.
No, you mean
That
Black
was
Bolt.
Black Bolt.
No,
No.
didn't she like pop? She popped.
Oh,
Mr.
she does
Fantastic's
pop him,
head?
yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
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 I thought she.
Yeah, there's that
Wow.
pop sound when he dies. Wow. She does Reed Richards gets freaked up in this movie.
But that's his
What were you
fault,
going
though.
to do with the punch? What were you going to do with the punch, Reed? What were you going to do with the punch? You like.
But
No,
I otherwise,
I'm
I didn't
sorry.
get to say this. I otherwise love John Krasinski.
We got to recast because I'm sorry, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards is not the smartest in the universe, in any universe. For all he did in this movie, I'm sorry, no, I'm talking about in the MCU for everything he did in the 838 universe. I'm punishing him. We need a different.
Yeah.
Mr.
I know. I
Mr.
like science.
Fantastic.
That like the thing where I don't know. I love the
When he
reference
showed
to
up and did
Val and
this, when he showed
Franklin
up
and Sue.
Yeah. Oh
That-
my gosh!
that
Can you
got me.
imagine if Franklin is like Franklin from the comics, and he finds out Wanda killed his dad.
Oh no!
Wanda ain't boxing with Franklin. Wanda ain't boxing with pissed off Franklin.
But that's
or
if
pissed off Victoria.
So are you saying
or even a pissed off
consequences?
Sue?
So are you saying consequences? Because again, you can't attack this Wanda because it's not her fault.
So it's also unclear, right? Like now that the Darkhold's destroyed, the only person who can travel through the multiverse is America, right?
That's what they're trying to let us think, but I don't think that's true.
Actually,
because
I assume Kang will have the
I
technology.
think at the end of the
future or whatever.
cameo, right? The cameo at the end, right?
Oh, it's
So
that's the.
So,
yeah,
but
that's-
hold
She
on,
just sliced
before
it open.
before we get to her, Mortal got really shafted in this because it's like
Yeah.
you set Mortal up in the first movie. We haven't really seen our Mortal in forever, and then we get this version of Mortal who's not even our Mortal. at all.
Again, this is something where a lot of the characters in that universe don't. One of us said it don't matter. They're just
I said that.
there. Yeah, you did. They're there as
Yeah,
cannon
but we
fodder.
don't get anything to advance Mortal because
For what?
that's one of it.
For
They're
what?
obviously they're obviously going with the Strange 3, right? You don't
I mean,
bring
hopefully he'll be a
Cleo,
villain in Strange 3, right?
and
How
if they're going to bring Cleo in, they're going to kill Strange off in 3, and then they already said every Strange, like they already show all the strangers are dying anyway, so they're definitely pointing that direction. This movie definitely shows, yo, we're going to kill Strange.
I mean, maybe they might. If the third Doctor Strange movie is like 5 years from now again, yes. But I mean, I don't think they're going to get rid of Benedict Cumberbatch because he's an Academy Award-winning actor who is down to be in these movies. Like he doesn't complain. He's willing to do cameos.
Yeah, they just killed Krasinski like it was nothing.
But he's not like he's. I think like they need a new Robert Downey Jr. at least for a while, right? That's willing to like be down to be in these movies, do cameos, like.
But by the third Strange, they're going to kill him.
So look, you have Doctor Strange. You really don't have anybody to replace him. I don't know what they're doing with Spider-Man yet, but you don't really have like I agree with you. You don't have a Tony, and you need a Tony, and Doctor Strange can interact with all these people.
But then this is
Captain Marvel's not going to be the draw that I think they thought.
But you bring in Reed though. This is when you bring in Reed and have him be Tony.
I mean, well,
you guys show him some respect. But I liked him. I liked him up until he got punked. So I mean, I'm for him.
The key thing is it's got to emerge organically, right? Like, like if you had asked Fiji like when the original Doctor Strange movie came out, if Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Strange would be one of the most prominent characters in the MCU, he'd be like maybe. But like the audience really responded to him in Infinity War. Like Infinity War is the movie that just like everyone loved him in that movie, right? And that like really showed off his power set and like he was really capable and played off Robert Downey Jr. really well. And so that blew up his fandom. And then this movie seems to be doing well too, although it's divisive. And so like I think, and then he was popular in Spider-Man. And so I think that they're gonna like see what happens, right? So maybe if Captain Marvel didn't work out as their temple character, maybe Reed will, or maybe whoever they choose to be Black Panther will, right? Because another person they were also clearly setting up sadly passed away, right?
Right.
And so I think they're just gonna see who fans glom onto, and maybe Shang-Chi will be that person, you know, after the Shang-Chi sequel. Like who knows, right? Like. I mean, y'all can laugh, but people like Shang-Chi.
No. I mean, I see what you're saying, and I think I just don't know if Marvel is gonna do it. I think let's hear me out. I think it's another white.
It's gonna be another white man.
I'm sorry, I can't. I know they want to be. I know they want to be progressive, and it would have been Chadwick if he was still alive, but it's gonna be another white.
It definitely would have been Chadwick. Like they were. Like there was no reason for those fights in Infinity War to be in Wakanda, except to set up like Chadwick and Wakanda to be like the center of the MCU.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but no. So what else? What else? I want to talk about?
But it's not going to be Benedict. It's
so
like
let's talk
Benedict
about
maybe for like the next 5 to 7 years. But
one thing I know I like about Benedict and Doctor Strange is I like him everywhere else, but in the Doctor Strange movies. Infinity War, he was a beast. Not really featured in Endgame, but then we got him in Spider-Man, and he was one of the better parts of that movie. Again, Spider-Man was good, but he was one of the. I feel like Benedict
was that the complaint in Iron Man though? Like with Tony and Robert Downey Jr. Like we liked him and he was okay in his movies, but he played better with the other actors in other movies. Like that was the same complaint.
Iron Man 2 and 3 aren't good, but Tony's story being weaved into other people's stories. That worked better. Doctor Strange, I think, works great as like I show up and I do this part and I'm gone. I know you guys want to move forward, but it was one thing about we talked about Baron Mordo real quick. Look, they set him up for the perfect sequel or figure out what this man was going to do when he took that crippled man's legs again. Like that was some cold.
That was cold blooded.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I was hungry to see what he. I thought that man would come back for a vengeance in this movie. I thought he infiltrated the Illuminati or something like that. And so I feel he got done dirty because what was it 8 years ago now? I don't even know how long. It feels like forever. 5 years ago.
And then as soon as he hugs him, I'm going like, oh, this is really not good. this is really not good. That's
But
like all
don't you
that
think?
development that you
But
did.
don't
and
you
you
think
just
they still played off that their rivalry a little bit in the movie? Like they still kind of played off the rivalry,
the
didn't they?
payoff wasn't
And
there though. The
I
payoff
think
was
so.
not there.
I thought it was
No,
okay.
I know so. No, the payoff was not there.
I
I'm
thought it would be great if he was like, I am, but it's like my Mordo, but Strange. I am your Mordo. Oh, that'd
That would've been
be
but I think it's actually good that Mordo, like real Mordo, like MCU Mordo, was not in this movie because this movie's already overstuffed, and MCU Mordo is still alive. Like he can be the villain in Doctor Strange 3. He could be the villain in a Midnight Suns movie, like TV show. Like he's still open and out there as a possible active threat that Marvel can come back to, and Marvel has recently shown a willingness to like pull some deep cuts out of their, like the fact that the villain of Iron Man 3 was in Shang-Chi, right? Like that they're willing to pull deep cuts out of their repertoire to, and even in Far From Home, where the guy that Tony yells at in Iron Man is one of the people working for Mysterio, right? Like, like they're willing to like come back to them with the actor availability. And the fact that they kept the character in this movie tells me, even if it's an alternate one, that they want to keep Mordo in people who's watching these movies like brain space. So I think he could easily be the villain of Doctor Strange 3.
You're right. As we get to the whole story tapestry as it gets to his chapter again, maybe we'll go, all right, yeah, this is a good fit for him. Maybe.
Did Mordo die in this one?
No,
Did
he didn't.
Mordo die?
He didn't.
No,
ironically
even
lives.
alternate Mordo didn't. He got dumped into that like trench.
Little pit.
Yo, you
Apparently,
think
he
we
didn't
can
get out that
council
little
of Mordos?
trench.
Yo, a council of Mordos against Strange? That'd be
What if a council of Mordo? You can just pitch that to the What If.
Strange has his third eye now, so you might need a council of Mordos to take him
Right.
down. Like he's on a different level at this point.
Speaking of the third eye thing, right? So he does tamper with the Darkhold to kind of help to defeat Wanda. Did we like the story of the Scarlet Witch being the creator of the Darkhold?
No.
Wait, she wasn't the creator of the Darkhold.
Yes, she wrote it. She wrote it.
No. They specifically say that the demon Chthon or Chathon, I can never pronounce it, wrote it. That's literally what Wong says to her.
They did say it. That's why
she says it's not a tomb, it's a throne. She says it's not a tomb, it's a throne.
Yeah, so it's like built by the demon for her as like a nexus being. Like as they set that up in WandaVision, like Agatha calls her that base. It's like the Scarlet Witch exists in one reality to be,
the next
can either create or destroy, that
and she could create magic at will when I thought like everybody else they pull magic from.
Well, I guess
but
I must have missed it. I thought she wrote the Darkhold.
Yeah. Wong specifically says that demon like carved it into the walls.
But I thought he doesn't know what he's talking about because he thought it was a tomb, and she's like, no, it's a throne. So his information is faulty. I didn't like that she kills one Darkhold and only kills all of Darkhold books. Like, I didn't really like that too much. Like, I don't know.
See, I was unclear about that part. I was like, is she traveling the multiverse killing it, or is she just, if you kill one, you kill them all? I was unclear about that part.
It wasn't the book. It was the tomb or the throne or the temple, right? That when she destroyed that, because the sorceress lady destroyed the MCU's version of Darkhold, right? So where they went is like the Darkhold, right? And when she destroyed that, she destroyed it across the multiverse. Just like the Book of Visconti, when it was destroyed, is destroyed.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't destroyed across the multiverse. Well, we don't know if it was destroyed. It was that specific.
Also, biggest tease, that book got destroyed really easily, and it had that Stargirls thing in it. Also, the black sorcerer lady cut one of Wong's hands free, then go destroy the book. Don't leave the man tied up there and destroy the book. Like, just cut one of the lines and go destroy the book. Like, no, is my only person that was thinking that?
No, you weren't. But because two of you are stronger than one of you by yourself, so I don't understand that.
Because the plot required it.
So now we have Third Eye Doctor Strange, right? In the I think the Eye of Agamotto is now. That's what that is, right?
It's not the Eye of Agamotto. That's the thing around his neck. No, it's just the third eye. It's just the third eye.
Someone told me that's what the third eye is called in the comic.
I thought the actual eye is now.
I don't know, but it's but in what Eastern mysticism, it's like open up your third eye and things like that. I don't think that's actually connected to Darkhold. I think it's just him reaching another level of power. I could be wrong though.
Yeah,
In
we'll
the
see it in the
comics,
future.
so in the
Because-
comics, when he goes against what's the name, Theseus, the one who was killing all the magic and all the universe and killing all the what you call it, all the Doctor Strange, all the Social Supremes, he had the eye then. But that's not Eye of Argomato. That's like the all-seeing eye of something else.
Okay, so the question I want to ask real quick, right? Because we've said Doctor Strange could be in anybody's anything, you know, for before Doctor Strange 3, but him going into whatever dimension he goes into with Clea we're talking the mid credit scene now. So him going into whatever, you know, to fight the incursion with Clea, right? Doesn't that kind of bench him though? Because isn't that what they did with Captain Marvel at the end of Captain Marvel? She goes into space, and which explains why she's not there in Infinity War. Don't you think that benches Doctor Strange moving forward for like maybe until we get a third Doctor Strange or the big event movie?
I think it benches him to the big event movie, or they're showing us whatever he's going to see there, and this is just me guessing, is going to lead to him going, I saw a version of an Illuminati before. Let me start gathering certain people now to prepare for this in the event that this is coming, because we've now seen multiple times where we've dealt with multiverse events, you know, and then we still don't know the payoff for Loki yet, right? So I think we're going to start seeing this is Doctor Strange's eye-opening moment where we actually see our version of the Illuminati happening.
I agree with KP there.
Yeah, but speaking of the Loki thing, did we not dream before the Loki thing? Like, did we not dream at all? Is that what they're implying? Like,
I don't think we got explanation for it.
Again, I think it's one of those things. If you think too hard about it, it all collapses. But that's the case of all multiverses in these.
You say it
like,
all
universes.
like we just
it's just all whatever, you know.
Throw some dollars.
But I want to agree with
Cheeks.
I really want to agree with KB though, because I think Doctor Strange could go around because they could set him up here, right? He and Clea go off to stop the incursion that he caused. They can't do it, which can happen off screen, right? Where and then he comes back at the end of Ant-Man and says to like Ant-Man and the Wasp, "I tried to fix this incursion. Realities are collapsing. You need to come help me." And then at the end of Captain Marvel, he says to like Photon, "You know, we've got to go and do this." And he says this at the end of like Guardians of the Galaxy. He's like, "Peter, I need your," like he can go around like collecting these people to set up for the Secret War, right? Which I imagine Secret Wars could easily be two parts, like Infinity War Endgame, where there's that. If you remember that story where the Ultimate Universe and the regular Marvel Universe with the last two universes, and they were collapsing on each other, and there's that whole like tension of will they survive, and then there was the Secret War with Doom World and all that bullshit stuff, and like they could easily do that in two movies, right? So, you know, I think there's a lot of open options for where they have Doctor Strange show up again. Particularly since they are setting up the Hickman like incursion stuff for better or for worse.
Because they even talked about the universes blowing up. Strange making the decision. I don't mean to cut you up before it, but you was talking about it. No, that was it. That was it.
No, I'm done. So
I'm done.
Is Doom pissed off that somebody killed Reed besides him? Is Doom pissed off? Somewhere going,
Doom is mad.
No one kills Reed Richards but Doom.
But so did you have a thought on the question though on Clea and that whole thing? Does that bench Doctor Strange, or does he like everyone has said? Is he the next eye patch guy?
What?
Is he the next Sam
Jackson? Is he the next
Nick Fury?
Nick Fury. Is he the next Nick Fury?
I think if they are benching him, it's a good play, and he comes back for whatever they experienced over there. Because in the comics, she's his student and his wife, eventually. So,
correct.
Like, and Marvel's really good about progressing plot off screen, but make it in a way that, I see that happening. Like sometimes some story writers will write stuff and it happened off screen, and you're like, what? But Marvel's been really good about progressing story off screen in between movies. You're like, I see that. Like even the WandaVision romance happened off screen. We got hints of it in Age of Ultron, with Ultron liking her, and then in Captain America: Civil War there was like this thing, but you don't question it in Infinity War. you don't question Tony Stark's progression outside the movies because you're like, oh, I see this natural organic progression. So they could go off and do something, come back, and there's a whole new type of Strange going on. You know what I mean? So it'll go either way. Are we done with the Christine character though? Like, are we done with her?
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
we're done.
We're done.
They're gonna find a way to
And
bring
I'm
it back.
kind of glad, to be honest.
I don't think they'll bring it back because specifically her last words to Strange are, you know, you need to overcome your fear. And then the first thing Clea says to him is, "Are you afraid?" Right? Like, I think it's designed to be passing like the Strange love interest baton.
I hope so.
Can I say how much I hated her costume though? Like, I really, really hated it. Like, I'm so happy they cast an actual age contemporary woman to be Benedict Cumberbatch's love interest. It's not some like 18-year-old like influencer that Disney wanted to like make into Clea, and it's actually like someone who's Benedict Cumberbatch's like age group. They're actually the
But
same
she
age.
ages like Nicole Kidman. Doesn't count.
I mean, that's fair. Benedict Cumberbatch also doesn't look 45. Like, he's aging like fine wine too. They're handsome people, right? Like, so that made me happy. But I'm glad. Like, Charlize Theron's a great actress. Like, I'm excited for her to play the character. But that costume is terrible, and I hope that they change it. Like,
I mean, Captain America had up to what point? No, I think he still had the worst entry costume of all of the characters,
except for Black Bolt on the big screen.
Wait. I was gonna say that I like that they're being more confident with their costumes, but it's this movie. I was like,
yeah, Black Bolt is horrible.
You gotta ease people in.
But I loved Wanda's costume in this movie.
Loved Wanda's, but
I mean, was not the likable
was
Wanda.
too much for me. Strange rocked his cape this movie. When I tell you that man pimped his from the moment he's at that wedding was like, all right, and he took off the thing. I was like,
He doesn't show off for their ex though. Like, he's up showing. He's like, oh, you married this dude.
He was dead. I think that was 100%.
Look, that black man is so confident in his stroke game because can you imagine that your ex is a superhero, one of the most famous superheroes on the planet, and you still like, baby, that's cool. All right, come on.
Didn't he want an autograph?
He did. He did want I thought that was a nice touch.
No, he's a confident man.
But we know him jumping
unless she told him we just work together.
No, him jumping off the balcony was 100% a power move. Like,
and even with the scarf thing.
Yes. At the end,
I was like, God, Strange.
Yeah, the cape has become a thing now.
Also, when he made Christine's wedding about him having a fight outside of her wedding, that was
nope.
Yeah, that was
no more nano helmets though. I don't need no more nano helmets. No more nano helmets.
They're coming back. Helmets. I promise.
Well, we're about to have the Ant people again, so get ready for it. And Black Panther.
Did they get? We get an Ant-Man 4?
3. Yeah.
No, 3
next year.
Oh, is it
just 3?
Is it 3?
And then Black Panther is happening at the end. I just found out that Black Panther is still happening at the end of the year, which I was like, what? That's
still still haven't had a trailer.
How did you feel about Xavier or the Will? I didn't like the chair. I've said it. Did you care for it?
I mean, it was like it looked like cosplay to me. It looked like a cosplay chair. Like,
it didn't look
I
good.
imagined in the comics during that era and it was a larger like chair device or whatever. Yeah. But you know what they were going through. They even played the X-Men animated. They was like, oh, we own this music now.
I was so happy when I heard it.
I was like, all right, y'all go ahead. Y'all just flaunting all the stuff y'all bought, ain't y'all?
Yeah, they flaunt it. I mean, it's theirs and they can flaunt it.
Yo, that was like a Vince McMahon over WCW. We won this war.
We won this war.
We won
this war.
I mean, Marvel loves repurposing those themes, though, right? Like Tom Holland's Spider-Man theme is a remix of the TV show theme.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame them, and it gave me little happy jumps. And they even did the little wave thing that they did in the animated series, the Aquaman circles, the Aquaman talk to fish circles.
God.
Also, Xavier though. Some Xaviers I know would have just read his mind and projected what he saw Wanda do to everybody else's mind. They'd have got that stuff shored up quick. This Xavier was like, we should let him go. And Mordo was like, no. Mordo ain't got nothing to do. Strange could have just mind control. I mean, not Strange. Xavier could have just mind controlled him and had Doctor Strange released. Like I feel like
no, but I think because it's the Illuminati, he respects each member. I think that's a thing too, right? Let's just imagine that they've said, look, we're not gonna do that to ourselves, right? We're not gonna use our powers on each other. But honestly, I'm sorry, Reed Richards gotta be the dumbest, bro. I'm like, I don't care.
Dumbest,
really
smartest
dumb.
man on
The
earth.
dumbest, smartest man in the world.
Isn't that what Tony used to call him all the time?
The dumbest, smartest man on earth.
Yeah.
He did
Yes.
call him that once.
Yeah, I did.
I
Last
like Science Dad Reed.
last
I kind of want to need a comic where Franklin Richards and Valerie Richards is hunting down this Scarlet Witch.
last but not the least, is this the last we're gonna see of the Scarlet Witch?
No.
Nah.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen, while she still looks like an attractive Olsen.
Yeah, and I think this character is gonna go over so big with Jinx Harley Quinn crowd. Like
What?
what?
Is Anthony just gonna act like what was said? Okay, you know what? Yeah, keep going, man.
No, that should just be deleted. Professor Xavier just deleted that from our mind.
Anthony knows me so well. He knows my ignorance.
It ain't even question. It ain't even question.
And just
He
keep
knows
going.
my
I
agree.
agree. Anyway,
I mean, you've seen how the others look. Like, I mean,
we're just not gonna go down this road, KB.
Right.
We're gonna make a nice left turn into whatever thing Ant wanted to say about.
Let's go see the bunny rabbits, okay? We're not going to make any
I'm not
jokes,
doing
okay?
it. Can we not do
All
it?
right.
We can do it.
But she's coming back. She's gonna be a popular character. She actually is a character with some like because they gave her this arc. I think she's one of the most interesting characters now. I just think they have to be careful how they use her, and they have to be able
so OP though.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be careful how you use her because, like, comic book Scarlet Witch was powerful, but she was a glass cannon. With this one, she was just taking hits, like physically taking hits.
Yeah, she
I'm like,
really fought with Captain Marvel, and
they're gonna do a House of M. They're definitely gonna have to. They're definitely gonna go House of M. Just
I think
different.
they're gonna go Children's Crusade is where they're gonna go.
Really?
I think we're gonna get some aged up Billy and Tommy, and they're gonna go looking for her. Like it could be a Disney Plus show, it could be a movie, but I think that like that's gonna be the hook for Young Avengers. It could even be America, like it could be the search for moms. So Billy and Tommy want to go find Scarlet Witch, and America wants to go find her moms. Like it could be, that kind of thing.
If they do some universe colliding stuff, and then the X-Men just gets rammed into the MCU universe, do you think they make Magneto her dad?
That's gonna be hard to do after WandaVision. You really pulled on heartstrings. So to go, oh, this is something that we put in your mind, Professor X doing something. We did this and to put in your mind to shield you from the truth or whatever. That's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay.
Well, she's still retconned as not his daughter anymore, right? She and Pietro.
Yeah, I know, but I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, the comics hasn't backtracked that, right?
No,
they
not
did
yet.
that because Fox owned the X-Men at that time. Her backstory has never been as interesting to me as when Quicksilver and her were Magneto's kids.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree with you.
And I think Polaris used to be like an adopted daughter, and now she's actually is his daughter or something.
Yeah,
I thought she was always his daughter,
like an older daughter.
I always thought Polaris.
She's
young. I always thought she was adopted.
I thought she was like adopted into his family, different stories. I could be wrong. I
have no idea.
Be wrong.
I know she was always the third Magneto sibling. That I know.
But she was the one that had
there was a show on Fox. I forget the name of the show.
It wasn't good.
No, that show was good. What are you talking about?
What you talking about? Which one?
Talking about the X, the one with the like.
Even though I love Blink.
With the twins that had powers, and the dad had powers, but some kind of way he lost his powers or whatever.
Yeah, and the little street level X-Men Fox X-Men show. Yeah, it was pretty.
With Bill on there, Suki.
Yes, him.
Yeah, that one lasted like 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think this was also around the time the whole shift in the world of Fox and Disney was going on. So I think they just X'd that.
I didn't like the show, but I thought they did a lot right with Polaris on that show.
Yeah,
was she Magneto's daughter in that show?
Yeah.
It was hinted.
Oh, really?
Very much, like heavily hinted. I think
I mean,
very
similar to like
heavily,
Legion, right? Patrick Stewart never actually showed up in Legion, right?
No, but they had another
but that was
Professor
also
X.
very much
Right.
hinted on that.
No, they
That's
flat out said that was his son in
Oh,
Legion.
really?
oh yeah.
I watched Legion
I
like
Yeah.
like it was nothing. Like I loved
I
Legion.
watched the first half of Legion. I loved it, and I don't know what was going on in my life, but I didn't finish it. I know there's
Yeah,
two seasons,
the
right?
first
3,
season,
right?
yeah, it was 3 seasons. The first
Three
season of
seasons,
Legion,
like
I think, was
Yeah.
the first season of Legion was, I think, the best television, the best comic book television I'd seen up to that point.
Yeah.
I liked it. Just didn't
Legion,
finish
I
it.
just fell by the wayside. I think it was also it was caught in the shuffle of Marvel and Disney and all of that.
the second season was good. Like they had John Hammond there, and it was good. I like the second season.
Where do you think we're going to get America coming back? Like, where do y'all think we're going to see her back?
I think in Riri's show.
I could see that. Yeah, definitely.
We'll get it back soon.
I mean,
I think Riri's show.
Yeah.
You got to capitalize while she's young.
Yeah.
Get the
Okay,
young
so,
demographic.
so fallouts. I think the next thing to discuss natural progression is fallouts, right? So Wanda's not dead, and we're thinking, as you said, Children's Crusade.
I want
America is something. She's something. Where next? Because you don't just shelf that character. People are gonna
Can
like
I
her.
point something out? Just before you go any further.
I have one more question, actually.
All right, go ahead.
The discourse around Wanda, right, or Scarlet Witch. Yeah, I forgot. We were talking and I forgot that, and I just remembered
the discourse
around Scarlet Witch. This is the thing that happened with Thanos. Thanos was right. Thing that happened with Killmonger. Killmonger was right.
Oh,
we're getting that in Wanda. Oh, Wanda, and I hate it. I hated it for Killmonger and I hated it for Thanos, but I could see. I can't actually. I couldn't see with any of them. I especially hate it with Wanda because at every point, right, there was something she could have done different. At every point,
she made her mind up and she was going with the. It's just like in Age of Ultron, which I'm glad they did. They showed it. It's like in Age of Ultron, it's like whatever Wanda wants to do, regardless of the outcome, she's going to do it, and that's been her character.
Because Doctor Strange said to her at one point, "What will happen to this Wanda from this universe?" And so once that was said, I thought in my mind, once that statement was when that question was asked, this is a villain. There's no redeeming this person. Was I the only one?
No, I agree with you, Mo. Like in the sense that, like in the context of this movie, there's no redeeming her. Like, she's corrupted by the Darkhold. It took these like legitimate feelings that she has about like missing her imaginary kids, all this stuff, like want for motherhood, right? Played on that and turned her evil, and she did horrific things, right? And like, there's no like Wanda was right in this movie. No, she was not right at all. No. Can future stories where Wanda tries to like redeem herself, like and correct her actions and try to be a hero again? Yeah, those are like that's classic Scarlet Witch stuff, though. Like, I know. Like there's a million Scarlet Witch stories. Like I'm not a big fan of the like evil Scarlet Witch stories going all the way back to Byrne. Like, but Marvel decided to do it, so that's their choice. Like,
that was a deep cut.
But
yeah, I mean, but that's where all this stuff comes from, though, is Byrne.
But
right?
I'll ask you this, right? She did what she did. I almost called it Pleasantville, but she did what she did to Jersey, right?
Yeah,
she did that, and there was no atonement, and she immediately jumps from that version of herself to the version that kills half of Kamatage, and then goes to another universe and kills people. One who is a dad, okay, with children and a wife.
She went to a prison and killed the person that was locked up. I just want to point that out.
And who had no
Age of Ultron,
remorse.
She went to a prison and killed people.
So
like,
it's
never faced penalty.
And she's never at any point atoned for anything she's done. And I think it just progressed out worse. Which is crazy. Her characterization has gotten like.
But people are simping for her
when people were telling me,
right.
So I think Kyle was like heel turn. I'm like, I didn't see a heel turn. She's always been a heel at okay, why?
But see, that's the art of a heel turn. A heel turn is like one of those things. Like the villain he's always been a villain. It's just you haven't really it hasn't really been called villainous, right?
Since when?
Look. All right, so don't get caught up in Hulk Hogan's heel turn, right?
The entirety of WandaVision is is villainous.
I know,
bro.
but they tried to make her a face. You get what I'm saying? In Age of Ultron, when they made her Avenger and she came out with Hawkeye, and then there was the whole what side is she going to be on
Civil War.
in a Civil War? You know, and then technically she wasn't really fighting for the Avengers in Infinity War. She was fighting out of grief and protect the Vision in Infinity War, and then what's it called?
Endgame, she wasn't fighting for
Endgame,
the Avengers again.
she was fighting for herself. You get what I'm saying? So this is the art of the heel turn. It's like, dude, we think she's a hero. Oh my God, she's the villain. She's a heel. That's the whole art of. That's the perfect art of a heel turn.
I
It's
don't
like,
know, bro.
I'm not really a good guy. I'm making you think I'm a good guy, and then I'm gonna slap you in the face with the chair because I've been a villain all along. Ha ha. Now I have the belt.
Yeah, I mean, she's been consistent. No, she's been consistent. I just hate. I've had an argument with somebody this morning that was like, "Well, you can't," because he was like, "She had to deal with something no other Avenger has to deal with." So people pointed out, well, Thor lost all his family and his people, like,
and his eye.
and his eye, and see, and they were like, "Well, he had his family for like thousands of years, so it's not the same thing. She only had her family for." I was like, "What?" And I was like, and she had people to turn to. She could go to Clint. She could have went to Banner. She could have
Cap lost everybody.
Cap lost everybody. Cap is still alive. Could have go to Camp. And I was like, Peter lost everybody. He ain't going around murking people and stuff like that. It's like it's a great character. It's a great character arc. I'm happy they did it. And you gotta let her
real people.
Yeah. And she went in the WandaVision, they tried to make her the sympathetic.
Oh, that line killed me.
Like they'll never know what you gave up.
What?
Give up
Monica,
nothing.
shut up. And for some reason in the movie they arrest I still don't know what they arrested the white general for. He didn't break any laws. He didn't break any rules. He tried to kill children. Imaginary mutant children that attacked his men. Like
that was bad writing. That was really bad writing.
And in this Doctor Strange one, he's like, "No, I'm not talking to you about Westview. You made that right." When did she make it right?
I'm guessing that was done off screen. So I'm guessing that was done off screen.
What was done off screen? Those people.
Well, we are going to get an Agatha Harkness show. So here's the thing: we're getting it. No. I'm sure whatever, because this is a whole cluster F, right? That whole everything that happened there was really messed up. So they're going to have to figure out a way to fix that, and I'm almost sure Marvel's going to fix that in the Agatha Harkness show.
Roy, where do you fall on the Wanda? I'm sorry,
her most heinous crime though is she stole the line from Black Panther that I've been waiting for him to say in the movie this whole time. When Claw takes over Wakanda and he's threatening, he's like, "Hey, kill yourself, I'm gonna kill your mama, destroy your country." And Black Panther says, or what? He's like, "I'll destroy you, kill your mom, destroy your country." He's like, No. You have any kids? And he was like, "No." He's like, "Good, because I have to kill them too. I'm coming for you." And I'm like, I've been waiting for that line in a Marvel movie. When I was so mad Claw died because I wanted to see him say that to him, and then wanted to send it to Reed Richardson away. I'm sorry, that was my own personal pet peeve. That had nothing really to do with anything.
Roy, where do you fall in the discourse?
I mean, for me, like, I don't think anything Wanda does is in this movie is like outside justifiable, right? Like, I don't like Thanos is right. I mean, I also
wait, what? Say it again.
Like
it's
in
outside.
the context, like outside, like in Wanda's head, you can justify what she does, right?
Yeah, I need you on my jury. When I commit a crime, I want you on my jury.
But for example, let's pick Killmonger as an example, right? In Black Panther, right? I think there are arguments that you can say that Killmonger had a point, right? Or Magneto, right? Had a point, right?
It's
to what he did.
How they go about it, though, that we have a problem.
But Thanos didn't have a point. When people are like, "Thanos is right," you're a Malthusian idiot. Get out of my face, right? But like Killmonger had a point, right? You can disagree with his point, and you think about he went in the wrong way, but he had a point, right?
Cool. I don't think he went about the wrong way.
I think he's the hero.
I mean, that's fair. Again, you don't have that's fair. Like Magneto, right? We were talking about Magneto was right? Magneto. Right?
No, because you did ask the question. Anthony said, in this world today, if Magneto and Charles Xavier came out, I would
pick Magneto, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
You can't trust either of them. That's the secret,
Roy,
right?
go ahead, Roy.
Yeah.
You can't trust either Magneto or Xavier. That's the real secret of X-Men. All right, but so judging her actions outside of like Wanda's own choices, she's wrong in that movie. But that doesn't mean that in the future they can't tell stories of a like redemptive like Scarlet Witch, like, or trying to redeem herself. Like, this is the Scarlet Witch trope that has existed for now 35 years since the original Bendis story, when Bendis is like, this Steve Englehart android magic children is a morally reprehensible thing. I'm going to get rid of it, and blew up the kids in that event West Coast Avengers story. And then Busiek spent like a decade trying to fix that cluster. And then Bendis is like, you know what? That John Bendis, I'm going to take that I'm going to take that Byrne story and I'm going to crank it up to 1,000 in Avengers Disassembled. And then we get House of M, right? Like Wanda doing something unbelievably evil and then spending 10 years as a semi-heroic character and then doing something else historically evil is the Scarlet Witch story.
I would agree with you. Except Marvel Comics has always placed her sanity in question. Not the Darkhold, not any other outside source. They've
Just her
placed
sanity.
Wanda, her sanity in question. So she gets kind of like a pass. You know what I mean? She gets kind of a pass on that. But in the MCU, her sanity was never in question up until the Darkhold. And there's this one line they talk about, please just put my daughter in the show. She's been frozen in her room conscious for weeks now, or something like that, that lady said. That's a very hard image to get out my mind. That I don't even think they showed the girl, but in my mind, I picture a kid stuck. I picture a bunch of kids stuck in place somewhere around that town. Like, that's living death. You're not asleep. She
choked the townspeople. Like
she mind graped them. It's that's a very hard.
Wasn't one of the dudes just visiting?
Yeah,
the dude Vision worked with. He was just visiting. Like, come on.
That's so like if you were the Punisher's, if you were one of the Punisher's cousin's boyfriends coming to the cookout that one day.
Well, so was the guy who was played by Evan Peters, who was the not Pietro, was also like just visiting, right? So
you know what? I still think that he was the witness protection person, and I think that they're going to wind up fixing that, and he's actually going to be Quicksilver from another something, because
oh my god,
I don't know. I feel like I'm rewriting.
They might do that.
Again.
I mean,
in your head to make it sense. Yeah.
I mean, this movie did make the ending of WandaVision, which they basically said was screwed over by COVID. Right, that final episode, like all the things they wanted to do, they couldn't do, so they kind of glued it together and shipped it. Make it look even more terrible than it did in context. Like, so.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Finally, Fallout, right? So I think we discussed Doctor Strange, benching him, shoving him, or having him, be the guy who brings everyone together, who brings the new Avengers together, or new Avengers, or Illuminati, or whatever. He brings them together, right? But there's America. I think, are we in agreement that we're gonna see her in Riri, or she goes New Avengers, or she goes Young Avengers?
She's gonna be in something.
She could show up in anything. She could show up as Peter Parker. She could. I mean, they talked about Spider-Man with her. She could show up in the next Spider-Man movie. That could be something to bring the other Spider-Man together again. Because I'm sure they looked at them as much money in advertisement, how well that went over. Yeah, they could bring Gwen Stacy over here. Like,
we're getting Gwen. We're definitely getting Gwen Stacy at this point.
Or Miles. We get Miles in it. Her power is going to be so freaking useful to bring characters from other realities. This is my prediction. I'm just.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think we're gonna get Miles, but I don't think we need Miles from an alternate universe. I think we'll just get Miles,
because Miles does exist in this universe. I mean, Prowler is. In this
I'm
universe,
just saying you can use her to bring to do so many things, so she can literally show up anywhere. And I think the actress did a really good job.
Yeah,
I think she did a really good job.
She did great. I'm proud of her.
She's a kid. She's like what, 18 or 19? Like, maybe even younger. She might. Right, she's like a real kid.
I thought she brought, and I like that. Well, I don't even know this. Is the character LGBTQ in the comics?
Yes.
She's
bisexual in the comics.
I like that. So I'm a big fan of like Omar, right, from The Wire. Like, Omar was gay. Omar was like like going to town. A guy's thing like that, but that wasn't his whole personality. He was
right. It was so much more to
character. Yeah, it was so much more. Just like we're more than all our sexualities. Like, and I like how they made her a character. Like, as a character, she had. I think the only reason I knew that because I know very little about her from the comics. But I saw that she had the pin on her jacket, and that. But it's let her be a character. She's not just her sexuality. She's not just her ethnicity. She's not just whatever. She's her character. She spoke Spanish. She was a hero. She went through her hero arc. I don't know. I really gravitated towards her. I'd like to see her in more things, and I bet you a lot of people do too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't. I think the Ironheart show was a natural place for her to show up.
Yes.
Could even be like I've heard that like Ant-Man 3 is going to have supporting characters for Cassie who are like that's where we could see Kate again. If that's what they're going to do, like that's going to be a soft entry into Young Avengers, then that's a place for her to show up. So
correct.
And let me be clear. I hope she gets a girlfriend on the show, and we see that whole romance arc for her too. I'm not saying I don't want them to bring in. I'm just saying that they made her. I felt like she was a character.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like back in the day, you would get that one black character and be like, and he's rhyming for some reason.
Or like you get a Lisa Turtle who's just a completely out of place character, and it's like it just stands out. And then like you as a black person, that's your representation. It's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't act like that in that situation.
All right. And so, man, what about Wong? Is he restricted to Doctor Strange?
No,
because he was in Shang-Chi.
Phase Wong, baby.
Yeah, this is definitely Phase Wong. Like, I think we're going to get a lot more Wong going forward.
Because there's a reason he
Wong
didn't kill
made himself an Avenger. I think Wong made himself an Avenger. So I don't.
Yeah, there's a reason he didn't die. I'm guessing, so he gets to come back at some point.
But also like he was an Avenger in the time period of the snap, right? He was the only major wizard who wasn't snapped.
Yes.
So that means
that's how he became. That's how he became.
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Was he in the council thing when Scarlet, not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow was running stuff?
He was there.
Yeah,
with
he didn't show up on the he didn't show up on the council, but he was still defending the Sanctum.
But he was in the council at the end of Shang-Chi.
He was in the council at the end of Shang-Chi.
He's not. But they were in the. Wasn't that in the Sanctum, or was that an Avengers thing?
No, he was in the Sanctum.
No, he's not in the phone call. That's like because the phone call has.
No, I'm in you're talking. We're talking Endgame, right?
Machine.
So think about in Infinity War, he wasn't nowhere close to being an Avenger at that time because him and Doctor Strange wasn't even on the radar.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in Shang-Chi at the end of Shang-Chi, right? He comes in and he says, "You and you come with me," right?
At that point in time, he's an Avenger.
Was that an Avenger? Was that an Avenger?
Yeah, because they get on the phone call with Captain Marvel and Hulk.
Oh,
okay. He wasn't on that phone call, right?
But remember, not all the active Avengers were on the phone call with.
Yeah, it was just two of them.
But even in Endgame, because Marvel has said that the most active superhero during the snap was Hulk. That's why he's so popular.
Makes sense.
And so Hulk's not on the call with Scarlet and all those other people, right? So it's not all the active superheroes right around that call, just the people specifically that Black Widow is checking in with. Right. So there's like a bunch of different superheroes operating during the snap, right? So there's like Captain Marvel in space and Rocket and Nebula in space, and
that's a good point.
Yeah, Rhodey.
Dude, I want to see that active Hulk series. Like, what was Hulk doing? Like, who was Hulk fighting during that time and stuff like that.
I want to see.
Anthony doesn't want to see that.
I don't need to see Banner. I don't need to see Banner Hulk. I need Hulk to come back to the MCU.
No, I want to see that. Like to see like that. Because they talk about the gladiator scene between the actual Hulk and Banner and the Banner Hulk and how they came to the point where they were in the middle, like and how that scene was cut. I want to see that, and I want to see how that relationship kind of had to mend. Like I want to see that.
I'm okay for that as long as that's a daydream that the real Hulk is having. Like I need.
Well, the trailer he was de-Hulkified in the
in Shang-Chi he was de-Hulkified.
Yeah, he was also
But he talked about. I think I saw an interview where he talked about, or read an article where he talked about like passing the mantle, like the Hulk's mantle, passing the mantle of the Hulk to She-Hulk. So.
Well, Banner. What's the other guy? What's the other Hulk? The
Shakar.
Cho.
Amadeus Cho.
Amadeus Cho. And they did name drop him at one point in time.
I actually liked that character, but I liked him more before he was a Hulk. Like when he was just I think he said he was like the 13th or the 7th smartest guy in the world. He did crappy stuff to piss people off. I love that kid.
Yeah,
he was running around with Hercules, right? Wasn't he running around
Hercules, and he also he was like a updated Rick Jones for a while.
Yeah, I liked him in that. Like I really like the Rick Jones character.
Rick
Anyway,
Jones is
sorry.
awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Hulk, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Hulk, but there's a lot of space, but they're gonna need to pass on because
Ruffalo,
what's his face is Mark Ruffalo is not gonna want to do it forever. He's getting old, so
yeah.
I mean, all these guys started in their 30s or 40s. So
yeah. So passing it to somebody who's in her 30s to late 30s, I think the orphan black woman is in. So
which is why I think John Krasinski's whatever. Thank you guys.
Wait, hold on. I want to get this point. So they kept mentioning this in the movie, the "Are you happy" line. If you remember House of M, what was the whole purpose of House of M? Giving everybody their happiness so that way Wanda could do her own thing. That's why I think that's going to be our next crossover.
It'd be a good way to bring her back. I enjoyed the House of M. That was very interesting. I don't know how they would do it, but they made Civil War better, so I'm sure they could do.
Peter's in a sucky place. Look, Peter's in a sucky place. What's her name's dead / snapped off / just another version of her. Gamora. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody's in like a weird sucky place. So to give everybody it's almost like the perfect place to give everybody what they want.
Peggy's gone, so Cap by himself on the moon somewhere. So
whatever. He's buried in Arlington National Cemetery at this point. Come on. The real question I have for everybody is what grade do you give this movie?
Oh, that's what the last question on a scale of 1 to I will brave COVID to go see this again. That's a good question, though.
Ooh.
Actually, yeah. On a scale of 1, I'll brave COVID to go see this again. Where is everybody? Who's seen this movie again?
I'm
in theaters.
No.
Okay.
Not in
theaters. All right.
Not in theaters.
Okay. So
45 days is on Disney Plus, though, baby.
Is it 45? I thought that was DC.
No, it's
y'all lied to me about y'all lied to me about the Eternals. I was questioning whether I need to go see this movie in theaters, so I ended up doing it. But I could have waited the 45 days actually.
Wow. So what's your grade then?
I didn't hate the movie, but this is like the first Doctor Strange movie. The only reason to see it again is the dimensional hopping thing. Just oh, that's cool. Let me pause. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a pause.
Oh, you want to
There's
see
really nothing I need
all
to.
The things they went to.
Yeah, there's nothing really I'm gonna pull up to play on YouTube again. I think you know what I mean. Like I judge things on things I'm gonna blow up, pull up to say, oh, that was a cool scene. Let me look at YouTube real quick. What scene are you looking at 10 years from now that you're gonna look up from this movie?
The quote unquote mirror dimension fight that Mo doesn't think was a mirror dimension.
Could be, but
that wasn't cool. But there was definitely the mirror dimension, Mo.
Thank you. It was the mirror dimension
where she phases through water and stuff. Whatever.
When she eventually comes
out of mirrors.
Apparently, she can get out of the mirror dimension by looking at things like that. I would look up the vision on vision conversation before I look up anything in this movie. I think. I'm already tired of seeing clips of the Illuminati getting killed. There's nothing really to see there.
That's annoying.
Yeah,
the zombie scene was cool. Like when Strange takes the spirits and makes that.
I thought the zombie scene was amazing. That was the Sam Raimi thing. I'm sorry. That actually was the moment where I was like, "Oh, great! This is what I want to see." I wish we got more of this in the movie, but it's fine. Whatever. Zombie Strange was fantastic.
I will look up Bruce Campbell again.
Now I would look up Zombie Strange. I thought he was the best.
The wink, the zombie wink. I did like that. That was definitely some Remy.
The souls becoming the cape. So
that was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna give it a 7. I give it a strong 7.
So that's a 7. KB.
I love Remy, and I could tell that Remy took over this product pretty late too. And he had to save this product. And you could see the parts because Mo and I were writing each other while watching this movie, and I was like, I could see the parts where Remy saved this movie. I also could tell Remy's writing and his directing. That alone, I have to give it an 8. And mind you, Benedict, he acted his ass off in this movie.
Oh, he did.
He did. Wanda, Scarlett Johansson did a great job acting. I will never say.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen.
Sorry. Embarrassed.
Different redhead.
Leave the joke alone.
No, actually, that wasn't a joke. I was
Okay.
honest, like real Freudian slip.
No, I'm saying leave the
Unnecessary.
joke alone.
No, I'm not making any more jokes
Okay,
about
good.
the twins, like, because I don't know what's going on in their lives, and it's horrible.
Roy, what's
I want to make clear, while I agree with KB's score for this movie, I don't agree with anything that came out of his mouth. There.
I
That's
muted
just,
him, so he's good.
there we go. There we go. All right, but yeah,
I'm with
eight is where I am with this movie.
It's a 7 for me. You know, it's not bad. It's not the worst. They're way worse movies, you know. And then there's also like I said, this is not the movie that breaks the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Eternals would have been that movie. Eternals couldn't do it. This is just, to me, this is Marvel's by the numbers. I think this is another Marvel by the numbers movie with elements of the director. This is, I think, in the last 4 or 5 Marvel movies, we've seen more of the director in the movies, right? Eternals, this one, and I think, you know, so yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok. So, all right. Well, thank you guys very much. Really appreciate the time. And Anthony, thanks for coming. Kyle, thank you.
I apologize to all the Olsens.
Oh my
It's the
goodness.
staff company and record label.
And you know what? That is it. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
I love
Definitely
you, Roy.
subscribe. You don't have to like, but you should
Roy,
subscribe.
I love you.
I love you too, Kyle.
Every night, I dream the same dream.